Namaste, sir. Um, Very often in life, most of our actions are because of our thoughts and emotions, and most of these things come into us because of our senses. So, how do we bring a control to our senses so that we don't cause disturbance or we feel inner peace? How do we do that?
You're right. We most of our disturbances, most of our problems are because of too much of activity of the senses. They get attracted, so we run behind. Then we don't succeed, so we are in sorrow. They get so powerful that we try to control them and they run away with us. And this is true. Now, if you want to control it at all, most people don't want to control, they enjoy it. So then there is no question. But suppose somebody says, perhaps if I control my senses, I might be able to go beyond and touch something which is much more satisfying than what the senses can offer. This thought has to occur first. Therefore, it is important to read those texts and scriptures which deal with these matters so that you understand why you need to be free from the senses. If you simply want to control your senses without knowing why you want to be free, it's a contradiction in itself. So if you find that the senses are causing problem for you, otherwise no, then you should try to work out ways and means to control them so that the energies are not wasted in merely sensory experiences but may be reserved for higher experiences, which actually, let me tell you from experience, are more enjoyable than anything that the senses can offer. Now the mind cannot stay in a vacuum. If you control your senses and if you have no other enjoyment, it will not remain for long. It will go back to the senses. Because the mind craves for enjoyment. Why? Because deep down, hidden in the mind, is the craving for the ultimate supreme bliss, which is called the Brahman. So, not knowing where to find it, it always tries to find happiness through the sensory enjoyments. So, when these two things are clear, and one says, let us turn back, then it is possible only to control the senses. Artificially, you cannot do it because you should find a reason why you are doing it. You should know that there is a happiness and tranquility which is other than the senses, which is much more than what you get out of the senses. When the mind is convinced of that, only then and only then will it turn inward and try to seek that which is permanent. Then to control the senses becomes almost effortless. Now, for that, you have to have some taste of that. We do have some glimpses of it here and there. Without indulging in the sensory desires, with our senses still open, we sometimes enjoy a beautiful sunset, a beautiful river, the ocean front, a smile on a little child's face, the kindness of a person who herself or himself is in danger. These are all subtle enjoyments. Sometimes we enjoy it. There are sparks of this enjoyment in all of us. Knowing this, one should think that perhaps there is a source for all this. The fountainhead of all this lies within our hearts. So we should turn towards it. If you turn towards it, then controlling the senses will not become so difficult. Once this is done, then there are other means to control the senses. One of the ways to control, for instance, your desires is to deny the mind, the body some food for a while. Which is why in all religious movements there are fasts. People fast. Why do they fast? Not because they want to lose weight, which of course is a good reason, but they fast because they want to see if they can live without indulging in tasting and eating food. So slowly only it's possible to control. You cannot all at once control your mind, because all at once if you control your mind, it will rebel and turn against us. The Gita, Krishna says, make your mind a friend as well as your mind can be your friend as well as your enemy. Make it your friend. If you make it your enemy by serious means before you're ready for it, then you're sunk. Of course, talking and listening and being in proximity with nuts like us helps somewhat. But even then, why are we called nuts? Because we have turned in the other direction. People think there must be something wrong with these guys. They don't think it may be something wrong with others. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, so the saints, others think that saints are mad. I'm not a saint, I'm just saying. And saints think that these guys are mad. So who is mad, really?